You may not be content with where you're at, but if you can focus on what good you do have, and you can keep looking towards the expansion part of it, that's really the fun part.
But how do you tell somebody that?
You can't. They have to be asking.
They
got to be ready for it.
And why do some people ask and some people don't?
Because they've hit the wall. They ran into the tree enough times, and they're finally looking.
They have to.
Yeah. And you can't.
They don't have to, but they usually do, just the way we've been raised in society. Hopefully, as society keeps getting more enlightened, we won't have to have so much dramatic shifts for people to have awarenesses and questions.
That's why so many people are crashing and burning right now. That's why the society is in upheaval.
So much
because they're still clinging to the old way that used to kind of sort of work. It was survival, but no longer can you survive when you've already expanded. That old stuff doesn't work. So there's always trauma and grief and revolution. And that's what's happening, and will continue to happen for a while. But on the other side of that is all the positive energy that was stored up in the negative experience that's waiting to burst forth.
But they have to be open to it.
They've got to be ready for it. You can't help anybody else hit a tree and have that moment. Right? I mean, you probably could if you tried, but I don't recommend it because then you're hitting the tree too.
Right. That's interesting.
This is what we love, talking with people who are also just as curious as we are, to continue to understand it all and have new ways to think about things. It's a beautiful thing.
So if somebody isn't ready to, like I wasn't ready, like you weren't ready for that book.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about it.
I wasn't ready until my second marriage fell apart. I was ignoring all of the signs of an opportunity for me to build my own self-esteem. But no, I continued having low self-esteem and went through a second marriage so that I could have my wake-up call, where I started to take a look at what could I do for me, because I was a big people pleaser. I'd made sure everybody was happy, my children, my whole structure, and my business, and just
most girls are, most women are,
that,
right? Yeah. We all do that.
The thing is that if you need somebody else to change, if you see them unhappy and you need them to hit their tree and get going, then you're sacrificing your energy in that moment. And now you can't be of help to them anyway, because now you're in a scarcity mindset.
Right.
The best way you can help anyone really is to be the role model, be your own lighthouse, hold the knowing of what really works. This is what we love about doing what we do, and we just shine our own light. And those people who are wanting to step out of the shadow and come to the light, they'll be drawn to you
in their time, right?
In the time that's good for them, because you can give, but if they're not ready to receive, it's pointless anyway.
And in the meantime, as you do the vibrational work on yourself and let go of the people who are not ready for the message, the ones who are can show up, and you can help them.
And what do you do when they show up?
Well, you just take the next step.
And that next step presents itself somehow, doesn't it?
If you're open to it, yeah.
So in your analytical mind, what finally convinced you that the law of attraction was real? And
you just have enough experiences, I suppose. It's like when we went to the restaurant down the street here, the old
City Hall.
Yeah, very very good food, and the streets lined with cars, and we pull up right in the front row.
I love that. Yeah.
So 90% of the places that we go, if we're in a place of at least positive expectation, if not higher, somebody's pulling out right when we pull up. You can't orchestrate that.
Right.
So there's many, many, many other
we have hundreds of
little
stories
experiences. Seeing all ones on the clock, for instance, every day you look, it's 11:11 again, every single day. I even posted on Facebook just for fun. It doesn't mean anything except that I was in a receptive state to the universe, and it gave me an impulse to look at the clock at that time. That's the whole process. So once you get it, that's the whole process, and that everything you want comes in that same process, then, who can argue with that?
Right.
We started with the little things, the parking places and all of those, but we've had big things. I mean, the year he was going to have his surgery, we had decided we were going to fly to California to have it, because that was the one place that did only that kind of tumor surgery.
Oh, right.
And we ended up having this little mastermind with a friend of ours. You can tell it.
Yeah, and so he said, I let go, said, okay, I'm not going to resist it anymore, because I was going to lose my hearing. I lost my hearing because of the surgery, because they pull your head apart, basically. And so not something I recommend, but
Right.
you hit the tree however you hit the tree, right?
Yeah. Wake up call. Big.
So I said, okay, we're just going to pack up the house and put the dog in storage and fly across to California for several weeks and stay there, have the surgery, and come back. And I was resisting it. I finally let it go. And a couple of weeks later, our friend from the mastermind group says, I know somebody who just had the surgery right here in Michigan. And she loved her doctor. We hated our doctor.
Yeah, the one that we ran
He
into,
was, I wouldn't let him touch me with anything. I mean, he was anyways, strange person. So then they loved the doctor, and we found out that Providence Hospital is the second largest place this side of the Mississippi that does these surgeries. And by the way, they opened a state-of-the-art neurological facility 3 months earlier in Novi, the city that we live in.
Our own hometown.
Oh my gosh.
So we had a 5-minute drive to the hospital instead of a 5-hour fly off to California.
But we never would have had that experience had I not let go of the resistance I had about I'm not going to have the surgery, I'm not going to lose my hearing, and just get back in the flow. Well, there's going to be good things on the other side of this, and the universe just
And
lines
that's the
everything
whole
up.
thing, to not go downstream.
Well, to
let go and
allow
go ahead
yourself to
and flow
go
downstream.
follow the current that's
Right.
naturally flowing towards everything that you
Oh,
want.
not go upstream.
Yeah, try not to
Right,
it's-
paddle
yeah, it's
upstream because
backwards.
that's difficult.
Right, right.
Which is what we were
Lot
doing.
of
Very
effort.
interesting. It's also interesting. You know, when I look at my my children, my youngest has law of attraction built in, and he doesn't even know it. And I won't say it because I don't want to change it. I don't want him to become conscious of it because he just is like that.
Intuitively, he's
He's
living.
Yes,
intuitive,
yes.
Yeah.
It just amazes me.
Young people are more tapped in.
They're born that way.
Yeah, they are.
And
They're not
we just
talked
teach it
out of
away from
alignment.
them.
Right, and I'm so happy. It makes me feel really good about my parenting skills, which I doubted at times, that he is like that. And my older one is a little more reserved, but he has it too. You know, and it's so good without ever naming it. They're both like that, and it just thrills me to no end.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank
that's
you.
nice.
Well, and I think that more people are raising their children like that. I think more people are raising their children to not be afraid. And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
To do that, though, they have
Fear
to get to
is
that
a
point.
Showstopper.
Right. They have to.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they hit the wall a few more times, and then, that way didn't work. That's what actually would happen with me. My daughter's 29 now, and in the early days, I didn't know this stuff, and I always had a decent relationship with her, but there we had some moments, and it really took me having the brain tumor and then this understanding, and then after she would have been 20, 21 or so at that time, and then we just started getting together again, having breakfasts or every so often, and me sharing this, and she just then could relax back into herself.
Nice.
And she's to that point where things are just work out for her.
Yeah, I love that so much.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of a co-creative journey, so to speak.
And you need those. You need to walk along the same path with your children for a while.
Yeah,
Not
if you-
forever,
if you
but
can,
for
yeah.
a while. Right, right. How about your kids? How are they doing?
My kids are older, and they're not exactly into law of attraction, but I love
But
them.
how are they doing?
Oh, how are they doing? My kids are fine.
So they might not be into law of attraction per se, but it might be built into them.
Right.
You know, as we evolve, I think more and more people will automatically know these things without it having to be explained. Julia and I were talking about this earlier. Look how much baggage we had to shed to get to this point. I mean, I went to Catholic grade school and high school. I
you're in
came
trouble
with
now,
my
yeah.
bags full. And unpacking them slowly and not having to please everybody with my grades and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Yeah.
let go of those things, but slowly and things come when they're supposed to make you take that next step. And I pray and hope that I didn't raise my kids that way. They're a little more evolved than I was. And when they're my age, who knows what they're going to be like, you know?
Isn't that exciting?
Yes. And their
Yeah.
children, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be simply amazing.
So everything is going just fine on this planet.
yeah,
It's
despite the news.
it's you can't unexpand, you can't unevolve, and there's microcosms of heartache, and they might grow to big ones for a while as people shed the old. But everything's working out just the way it's supposed to, and from the contrast comes the clarity, the new idea, the new determination. You wouldn't have had this determination to do what you're doing, supporting women the way you are, had you not been through those experiences.
That's right.
So there's always the clarity from the contrast if you just look for it. It's always there. Same with my upbringing. It's like the slingshot. You can only pull it back so far, and then it either breaks you, or you finally let it go, and then all that stored up energy shoots the opposite direction, and then you find your purpose. And
Our
start
company
living
wouldn't have started if you hadn't had that brain tumor, because I was teaching a women's program that I loved, and that was what our company consisted of way back in 2007. But through the brain tumor journey and everything that we learned and the awarenesses we had, we had men and women, not just women, wanting to understand law of attraction, and so that's when we decided, let's do this together.
Interesting, isn't it?
So it's always experiences that lead you to the next good thing. Yeah,
I love it. So, oh my gosh, it's very fun. It's been very fun having you here. So,
must be midnight.
What kind of somebody just embarking, just heard of the law of attraction, wants to change their life? What little piece of advice would you offer them, Kevin?
Google.
Right. And YouTube.
Well, if you trust the law of attraction, it'll find the next step for you if you're just open to the journey. So don't try to orchestrate it.
Very good, yes.
You could suggest something, but if you let them find it on their own, that's going to be the one that's going to resonate.
And
with
of course, for those who are wanting to take it to the next level, that's what we do for a living. Give us a call.
Yeah. I mean, we taught, we learned everything on our own through the help of YouTube and all that stuff. But this is what we love to do, to help people become self-empowered so they don't have to take as many years as we did to understand how to use this beautiful law to support yourself and then get in touch with your inner guidance. And before you know it, life is just so much fun.
Right. And I think one of the best feelings is to find people that you resonate with. I think that is so important at any stage in your life. I think that is so paramount. And not be afraid to change. Not be afraid to grow, and just do it.
Yeah, all right.
Just do it.
Yeah.
So, again, the name of your book and where we can buy it?
Stepping Into a Life of Joy. And they can go to Amazon. It's in Kindle format. And if they don't have a Kindle, they can get a Kindle app for free. Or it's on you can put it on any.
On iPhone, device. Anything, yeah.
And it'll be in paperback, we hope, in another month or two.
Yeah, we're hoping to have that kick off in December.
Very good.
And our company is Personal Success Programs.
And thank you so much for being here. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it, and happy anniversary.
Thanks so much.
You.
It was our pleasure. Real honored.
And let's not wait until the next 10 to get together.
All right.
And, we can have... we can be on the phone together, too. So
we can.
You can be on the show maybe in the winter and not have to drive here, because wouldn't that be a nightmare?
We definitely we have.
Although you could manifest good weather.
We could do that
and come
too.
And go to City Hall, City
Hall
Hall
again.
We've done
that before.
Yes.
Yeah. We have manifested some good weather.
Good.
When we want to.
So this Saturday we have sound meditation at 10:30, Law of Attraction at 12:30. November 8th is our next Dinos at Vino's. That's the Devolution Project. Gets together at Vino for half-off wine. We're just divas doing good. And we're going to talk about our third quarter projects, which are already in the works. And we have some ideas for more. We're also teaming up with another organization that I'm real anxious to tell you about, to visit some old folks' homes and stuff and cheer them up and bring them joy. Hopefully first quarter next year. So don't forget Dino at Vino. And in your search, are you coming from a place of lack or curiosity? I loved that. That was my big takeaway for this evening, and I so appreciate that. So until next week, my friends, be real, stay true, know who you are and what you believe, because you are the Devolution. Good night.
The Devolution Show is a W4 Divas production, hosted by Deb St.Hilaire and produced by Josh Sherrill. All rights reserved.